everybody, it's Sharon here. Welcome back to my channel for those who are returning, and welcome to any new subscribers that may be visiting for the first time. Just a quick bring you up to speed before I get going on my next project. I have been working on the inside pages of my journal on the inking. So we've talked a couple of times about whether to ink or not to ink, and I had told you in my last video, or sorry, I think it was the second last video, that I had decided to ink with the walnut stain distress ink. So I've gone ahead and done that, and I had mentioned to you that I wasn't sure if I would ink all of the pages or just the pattern papers, so I just wanted to share with you what I've done. I still haven't glued my pages into my cover. I have literally just finished inking, so I have done around the outside, and as you see, I've only done a very, very small or fine application. And I will tell you, when I was doing the inking, usually I bring the ink right over onto the page. When I was doing the inking this time, I was thinking more about the gold gilding that you get on the edge of the papers on a book. And so with that in mind, that determined how I was inking. So it is a very, very small application around the outside, and being such a dark ink, it really didn't take much to make it show on the paper. When I finished doing my pattern papers, I moved to my tea stain papers, and I decided to do one to see if I liked it or if I didn't like it. And I actually liked it, so I've gone ahead and I have inked all of my tea stain papers, and I've used the same idea. I've just edged around the very edge as if it were a gilding rather than a distress that's come onto the page. I'm hoping that makes sense. So my book or my journal pages are all done, and they're ready for me to start sewing my laces on. I did put this belly band together off camera. I'm sorry that the last video ended so abruptly. I thought I was videoing, but I'd actually run out of battery. So when I went to finish the video and stop it, it had already stopped. So my apologies for that. So in our last video, we put together these two belly bands. I haven't done the other belly band, but I will probably do that off camera. I'm thinking I have another project that I want to work on today. So now that I've got you up to speed on those, just getting some book paper. I hope you're all fabulous. I am. It took me a little while to get the inking done, but I'm so glad it's done now. Now normally I would do two book pages together, but these are quite sturdy papers out of this book, so I'm just going to leave it as a single page. I think that one's bent, so I might get a different piece for that one. Okay, and I'm going to hopefully do them all together. I just want to take a little bit off the edges. I'm trying to work out how much. And I was thinking overnight, I want to make some fabric flips. I will probably do those off camera. I'm not sure. Depends on how much time I have too, but there are a couple of things that I'm thinking I might do off camera, so how big do I want it? I'm going to say about there. So I just want to make some library style pockets, but they will be large library style pockets. Okay, and my corner rounder, which was buried. Might be easier to go that way. Got a curl in the paper. Okay, and I'm thinking I'd like to do, oops. So I'd like a very light application. I didn't actually get myself any water for, oh, my water's just there for my brush. I do want to use the brush. I was like, should I use my palette knife or something instead? But I really want to use the brush. So just want my tile to take off excess because I just want to do a dry brush application. Just sending the words back a little, sorry. This is such a long brush, but I really love it. I haven't decided what it is about the brush I really love so much, but it's always my go-to. Don't really want to be able to read the words. I just want to know there's something there. I keep hitting my camera. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to leave that one to dry for a moment. I'm making this up as I go. I'm like, I'm not really sure how thick an application I want, so it doesn't matter if it's not all the way to the edge because there's another layer going over this. My brush is molting. So I am doing a slightly heavier application than I first thought I wanted, which is my prerogative. I get to change the rules as I go because there are no rules. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that at this stage. I'm just setting them aside to dry while I do the next one, and then I can go back and revisit if I want to add more. Oops. Come on now. I am so happy with the way the inking has turned out on that journal. I was just sitting here thinking about it. Sorry, I zoned out for a moment. After being in a bit of dilemma, like I said again, not stressing, just questioning what I was doing and if I was happy with the way I was doing it for this particular project. And although I have inked, which is my norm, my style, as I've mentioned, style, I have it. I'm still not sure, but it's my go-to. And I have still ended up inking, but it did make me question the strength of the application. So it is different to what I'm used to doing, and I love that. I also love that it's had me question things, because I think sometimes we do get caught up doing things the exact same way, and I feel like I've grown that little bit from the experience. So I really, really love that. Okay, slightly heavier. Nope, that was a little heavier than I anticipated, but we'll just go with it. Okay, baby wipe to just clear this palette so I can put it away. Oh, and I really need to put the lid on my gesso because it's very warm here today. Now I have two sheer fabrics here. As you see, it's quite sheer, this one, and there is a chance that hubby will come home while I'm doing this video. And I have a second fabric. Don't know that it's wide enough though. It's not quite as sheer. I think I prefer this one. So I'm just going to cut. Oops. I'm hoping I'm on camera. Sorry if I'm not. I've gesso on my fingers. Well, that wasn't very straight. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these on around the outside, probably not across the bottom, and then I'm going to trim around the outside of the pocket to cut the excess fabric off. So I possibly will do that off camera. I need to ink these. Again, I'm kind of doing the same kind of application as I did Well, it's what I was doing on the other ephemera that I've made, just a really soft application. And that was how I ended up doing the papers, the journal pages as well. So you can see I'm just kind of tapping the edges, and again, my gesso is still a little bit damp on this, so just trying to be careful with that. Just gives a really beautiful edging. I didn't think I could love any of the stains as much as, or the distress ink, sorry, as much as I love the vintage photo, but I'm not sure if walnut stain might be my new favorite at the moment. You may see more of it. I guess too, it depends on what works with the papers that you're using. I just know that the vintage photo certainly wasn't working for me with those papers, so, which is strange to me because I haven't seen anything that I haven't liked it with before. Okay, and from there I'm just going to choose some decorative paper to pop on the front. So this is Love Paris 2, and I'm just looking to see, I've used that on the inside pages, I think in that one. I do really love the butterflies on that though. I just realized I can't actually reach back to put those little scraps in my bag that I mentioned because I've got things in front of it now, so oopsie. I find the more I craft, the more things I need to have at hand, so I'm going to have to make a few changes, possibly later today, because I need to access my sewing machine. I've got a few things I need to sew now and I haven't been able to get to my sewing machine, so that will have to happen. I really, really love those butterflies there. Okay, and I feel like I want to see if I can fit, and I can. Trying to fit the whole butterfly at the top in, and it looks like it will work. So I'm not just trying to fit the butterfly in, I wanted to see if I could make the nest fit as well, and it looks like they both will, so I'm a little bit excited about that. Well, that might make a pretty front on them as well. Love that. Okay, and so I think about there. So pretty. So we might as well kind of liking the idea of having all butterflies right now, so I'm going to tear it this way first. Oh, tearing that butterfly off. Okay, let's go this way first. Oops. Trying to decide whether or not I want to add anything to the front of these, or whether I'm happy with them just with these beautiful pictures on them. Because I am kind of feeling like they don't need anything. And then I'm like, am I just being lazy? I don't know. See, it's just so pretty. So we'll glue those down. Well, that needs to be a lot closer than I realised. Still not very straight. Gosh, Sharon, what are you doing? Unless I didn't tear this one very straight. I might leave it there. There's my bone folder. Maybe I'll add a bit of a lace or something down there. It's not quite centered, it's messing with my head. And I don't know if I can walk away from that, which is a shame. The butterfly is there and I don't really want to cover it up. I'll have a think about it. I shall ponder. See if I can do this one a little bit better. Oh, that was much easier. So pretty. One more. Got some things on my sewing machine that I've made that I need to add some stitching to. So I'll be able to do that at the same time. I'm just wondering whether I can shift a few things and perhaps do one before I move on and show you. Although I do want the glue to dry first, so maybe I will leave it. Oops, sticky situation. Okay, so where's my fabric? I just think that's so pretty. I may even be able to bring that to the very edge. This fabric can be a little bit tricky to sew too because it slips very easily. Not sure if the writing is still standing out a little more than I'd hoped. Partly because I haven't read it, so I'm not sure. It's interesting, if I hold it up to the light, you can see straight through it. what if, well, that's kind of fun. It's a shame it's not centered a little bit more. There's this text which is really interesting. So I probably didn't need to gesso if I cover this over, but never mind. It's all trial and error. I might as well ink. And I don't have to cover these words over. I just want to see what it looks like this, because I think it's going to be really pretty. Oh, that is lovely. Okay, I think that's what I'm going to do. So obviously they will be trimmed. Okay, so I can go ahead and attach. Well, actually I won't, because I can use that as a guide to cut my others. So I want to see how much text I get from this piece. I like that. Okay, so I can use that one as well. My tear ruler. It's from the other paper collection, from the tea journaling paper collection. but I really like that. And if I pop that over the top, yes, okay, done. And I'd like to take, so not that one, around her. Okay, and distressing. I do want to make this one shorter. I don't need to use all of that on there. Okay, so lesson learned, I didn't need to gesso, and I could have left it like that, but I actually really love these papers underneath. So 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. This is what made me the happiest. And it's actually fun to play with ideas like that, because I don't know about you, but if I'm making things, I often tend to pull out the focal points from the beautiful papers, and I'm left with lots of background. I'm never really sure what to do with it. So this is a really fun way to use the backgrounds on your papers too, by covering them with a little bit of sheer fabric. I mean, I don't have to do that either. I could just leave them as is, but just like, I don't think I meant for that one to go on there, so I need to check. Not that it really matters, but I wonder if I can get that off. By golly, I think it's going to. I shouldn't say that too soon, because I really liked that menu. I can stop holding my breath now. I'm sure it was this one I really liked that menu against, because everything else here is so delicate. Oh, now I don't know which one I held it against. Sometimes I make myself laugh. I think I like that. And guess what, guys? I think I'm going to end up putting this back where it was. Or do I? Yes, I do. Whoopsie. Oh, well, at least I had the option to check. Okay. So take 2. Let's turn it around. Very tacky now. It's not shifting across the paper like it would. I've got to lift it. Just not finding my center. Okay, that did it. That way or that way. Well, that way is almost a perfect fit, so I think I'll go that way and I can trim off the excess and have a nice little scrap there. So pretty. Pop that on my sewing machine. Oh, big spot of glue just came off onto my paper. Not good. Time to change up my glue paper. Oops, wrong way. Okay. Oops. Should be able to come down just a fraction. Love it. Okay, let's I'm trying to slide it and it won't slide, which is probably because I've got the gesso underneath. Okay. I think I need to go long ways with this one. Doesn't quite fit the other way. Just as pretty. Okay, like, do I want a label or something on there? Don't think they're in this one. I've got bits everywhere, guys. It's embarrassing. I really need to label my folders so I know which is which. It's a little bit big. Thought those coloured ones may have worked from Artzology, but I think I want something darker. These are from Tracie Fox. I don't know, it's just not working for me, which is making me question whether it really needs anything. Oh, what about... These are from Tracie Fox, so LoveJunkJournals, and they are the, I think it's called the numbers. They're numbers tags or number labels or something like that. I'm sorry, Tracie, I can't remember. Oh, hang on. Do I have it here? Oh, dash, I thought I had it. Why don't I have it? What do you... No. I don't have it. I need to write it down and pop it in there. I think I like that. Okay, so for ink, yep. Perfect. So do I want something on these? I'm going to ink this and see how it looks inked. Little piece of cotton there. Oh yes, I like it much better with the ink. Okay, so I really like that one. That's kind of cute. Oh, I like that one. Just something little to make a bit of a statement. It's funny because I didn't know it needed a statement until I put them on there. Okay, I love these labels, Tracie, so much. Okay, just clearing some space because the walls are closing in. So that one's good to go. I need to glue this one down. Hubby's home. Yep, And lucky last, and I will bring them over to show you. Obviously they won't be finished because I need to sew the fabrics on, but I will do that off camera. It's amazing what a fun little pop they are. Okay, they have got a bit of a curl to them, but that's okay because they will be glued down into the journal. They've got a real curl. Okay, so they are our pockets and I love them. I'm sorry about the curl, guys. It does make for a bit of shadowing. I'm sorry. But I will sew those. I'm actually going to sew, I think, around each one, and I may even sew the fabric on separately before I sew around. Haven't decided, but I will sew those on, and I will probably pop them into a heavy book to press them a little bit to hopefully flatten them down a little bit. So thank you so much for joining me. I have really enjoyed making these, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. Happy crafting, everybody. Bye for now.